Imagine being stuck on a mind-bending mystery, clues scattered like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, suspects everywhere, and dead ends at every turn. Now picture someone walking in, claiming they saw the answer not in the evidence, but in their mind. Sounds like the plot of a thriller, right? Well, sometimes life writes the strangest scripts. Let's dive into the real-life stories of psychics who defied logic, baffled detectives, and helped crack murder cases in ways you'd never believe. Buckle up, this is one ride you don't want to miss. Number 10. The Case of Andrew Daigle. On June 9, 1987, Andrew Daigle spent an evening out with friends, playing pool and having drinks. It seemed like an ordinary night, but it was the last time he was seen alive. Initially, authorities did not suspect foul play, but his sister, Elise McGinley, had a gut feeling that something was terribly wrong. She refused to accept the assumption that Andrew had simply disappeared and sought the assistance of a psychic named Rosemary Kerr. Kerr conducted a reading and shockingly confirmed that Andrew had been murdered. Even more astonishing was her ability to pinpoint the exact location of his remains deep within the swamps of New Orleans. When law enforcement searched the area, they discovered Andrew's body just as the psychic had predicted. Rosemary Kerr's testimony in court marked the first time a psychic was allowed to provide evidence in a murder trial, setting a precedent for future cases. Number 9. The murder of Angela Blackmore. Angela Blackmore's murder shocked the Christchurch community in 1995. Just 21 years old and pregnant, she was stabbed 39 times in her home, while her toddler slept in another room. Despite exhaustive investigations, the case went cold, leaving her family desperate for answers. Years later, psychics featured on the show Sensing Murder were consulted. They described the crime scene, provided details about the killer, and even suggested motives. These revelations reignited public interest in the case. In 2019, a breakthrough came when advancements in DNA testing led to the arrest of Jeremy Powell, who admitted to carrying out the murder as part of a contracted hit. The psychic's contributions, while not directly leading to the resolution, kept Angela's story alive in the public consciousness, underscoring the blend of intuition and science in solving mysteries. Number 8. The Case of Julie Popovich. In August 2005, psychic Christy Robinette claimed she was visited by the spirit of 20-year-old Julie Popovich, a college student who had vanished from a Columbus, Ohio nightclub on August 11. The spirit, described as frantic and desperate, pushed past others in a vision to deliver an urgent message about the location of her body. Robinette provided authorities with a detailed map pinpointing the exact spot where Julie's remains would be found near Hoover Reservoir. Just days later, on August 30, Julie's decomposed body was discovered in the same area, confirming the eerie accuracy of the psychic's vision and leaving investigators stunned by the chilling case. Number 7. The murder of Amy Hoffman. 18-year-old Amy Hoffman worked at a shopping mall in Morristown, New Jersey. One fateful evening after finishing her shift, she vanished without a trace. Her abandoned car was later found with the driver's door wide open, leading investigators to believe she had been abducted. The case baffled police, so they turned to Nancy Weber, a trusted psychic they had worked with previously. In a chilling vision, Weber saw the suffering Amy endured before her murder and provided details about where her body would be found. Her visions ultimately led to the identification and capture of James Kodatic, a serial killer who had already taken another victim before Amy. Thanks to Weber's insights, Kodatic was brought to justice, ensuring he could never harm another innocent person. Number 6. The Case of Sharon Stevens. Sharon Stevens disappeared in 1994 under mysterious circumstances, leaving her family and investigators grasping at straws. Psychic Carla Barron stepped in, providing vivid descriptions of Sharon's last known whereabouts and offering insights into her potential fate. Some of the details she provided eerily matched undisclosed elements of the case, which gave investigators new angles to explore. Despite this, Sharon's disappearance remains unresolved. Barron's involvement reignited public interest, emphasizing the blend of hope and skepticism that often accompanies psychic consultations in criminal cases. Number 5. The murder of Maria Scott. Maria Scott's case is a haunting tale of violence and unresolved grief. Found stabbed to death, her case went cold for years, leaving her family searching for closure. Psychic Debbie Malone, known for her work on high-profile cases, was contacted by investigators. Malone described details about Maria's murder, including potential suspects and motives, which eerily aligned with the evidence. While her contributions didn't directly solve the case, they provided renewed energy for the investigation. Eventually, justice was served, offering a bittersweet resolution to a long-standing tragedy. Number 4. The persistence of Ashley Howley. Ashley Howley's disappearance in 2004 is a heartbreaking tale that took an eerie and extraordinary turn. The 20-year-old vanished without a trace from her Columbus, Ohio home, leaving her family desperate for answers. Years later, Michigan medium Christy Robinette claimed that Ashley's spirit reached out to her, vividly describing her murder at the hands of her boyfriend and the exact location of her remains. At first, Robinette's account seemed implausible, but her chillingly accurate details compelled investigators to act. Remarkably, years after the initial disappearance, Ashley's remains were found in the precise location Robinette had described, buried in a wooded area. This haunting case not only reignited debates about the potential of psychic abilities, but also brought a bittersweet resolution to a grieving family, who finally found closure after years of uncertainty and heartbreak. Number 3. The murder of Dora and Jake Cohn. The gruesome murder of elderly couple Dora and Jake Cohn in their upstate New York home in 1986 sent shockwaves through their community. The crime scene revealed a brutal attack, but investigators struggled to find solid leads, leaving the family in anguish. Suspicion initially fell on their grandson, James Mariani, and his associates, but without concrete evidence, the case stalled. Desperate for answers, authorities turned to renowned psychic Noreen Rainier, who provided chillingly accurate details about the crime, including descriptions of the killers and their motives. Her insights directed the investigation, uncovering critical evidence that linked Mariani and his accomplices to the murders. The eventual conviction of the guilty parties brought some measure of closure to the family, showcasing the uncanny role that psychics can sometimes play in the pursuit of justice. Rainier's involvement remains one of the most compelling examples of unconventional methods aiding law enforcement. Number 2. The disappearance of Susan Jacobson. In May 1976, 14-year-old Susan Jacobson vanished on her way to work at an ice cream parlor. Police dismissed the case as a runaway situation and refused to investigate further. Desperate for answers, her parents reached out to psychic Dorothy Allison. Allison envisioned Susan's boyfriend strangling her and sensed a connection to an abandoned area with fuel smells and a marked drum. 2 years later, Susan's father and Allison discovered her remains inside oil drums at an old shipyard, just as the psychic had foreseen. Authorities arrested her boyfriend, who was later convicted of her murder. Number 1. The murder of Elizabeth Cornish. Elizabeth Cornish's brutal murder in 1987 sent shockwaves through her New Jersey community, leaving neighbors and police scrambling for answers. The prime suspect was her boyfriend, who had discovered her body, but the Cornish family vehemently defended his innocence. Desperate for a lead, authorities consulted psychic Nancy Weber, who claimed to see vivid details about the crime. Weber provided a chillingly accurate description of the real perpetrator, leading detectives to uncover evidence that exonerated the boyfriend and pointed to the true killer. Her unexpected involvement not only cracked the case, but also demonstrated how unconventional methods could sometimes outsmart even the sharpest investigations. That's all for today's video. If these stories left you amazed and questioning reality, you're not alone. From eerie insights to spine-chilling predictions, the world of psychics is as mysterious as the cases they help solve. Want more jaw-dropping tales and untold mysteries? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next story might just blow your mind. See you in the next video.